Well, we moved to Essex in about 1987. Well, I was born in 1971. I'm 53 now. And went to Croydon till I was 8. And then from 8 till whenever, Essex.
And how did Essex influence you musically?
Well, the rave scene was the start. Well, I was a soul man from being in Essex, Basildon, Southend. I went to school in Basildon. My secondary school was Basildon, and that was sort of about 5 miles from Stamford Yard, where I was living, Tilbury Grays, that area people would know. And soul was a big thing in Essex, especially in Southend. And we used to always go to Southend on the Saturdays, you know, with all the boys and just a bit of fun. You know, the seafront was there, the arcade machines were there, 10p ones. So that was great between sort of when I went to my secondary school in 1983 through to 88. That was where all my music started. Soul was a big thing. I used to buy soul records from Our Price or from Crazy Beat in Upminster.
And I think Crazy Beat's still going.
He's definitely still there.
Crazy Beat is still going.
I was there a couple of weeks ago. They got a massive mail out. They're doing really, really well. Doing well on mail outs. You know, the shop's not as busy as it was because obviously vinyl's not as big as it was. More collectors are buying vinyl now.
It's a big collector's thing.
It's coming back, yes. So that was my places, and Brickhouse Records mainly, which was when my parents went back to Ireland when I was 20. They said, "Do you want to come with us? You're more than welcome." And because my dad was building a house, my stepdad Walter, building a house with my mum Mary, and my mum and Walter had another son, which was the first son for them too. I've got no other brothers and sisters except for Gerard, who's in Ireland now. And they said, "You can come back," because they wanted to bring up Gerard in Ireland.
Yeah.
Well, whether they'd seen what happened to me and thought we're not having any more of that. So they took Gerard back and said, "You can come with us. We've got the big house ready to go." Well, house, but he's in the middle of nowhere. And I'm talking nowhere. If you haven't got a car, you've got the shop, no closest shop is miles. So it just wasn't for me. So my mum gave me £2,000. Well, sort of lent gave me. Mum, I will pay you back one day. I forgot.
You still ain't paid her back.
So yes, so I think they just give me £2,000 to get rid of me. So they knew I'd stay here. So I got a deposit in a flat in Grays. It's a studio flat, which was great. First place.
Yeah.
With DJing was going. That's why I didn't go as well to Ireland. My life was in England. You can't go to Ireland when you're 20 after having Essex and everything. So the music was starting to take off for me. But I'd been playing soul back to where I just started a minute ago.
And what soul? What were the artists that really drew you to music?
Well, it was the funk soul more so than the old rare groove soul. I did like a bit of that, but it was mainly the whispers. Loose Ends definitely were my number one.
It's a big pile of Loose End records there. See them?
Yep, I can see.
Loose Ends.
I know that album.
There you go. Look,
straight away. I know that.
A big pile of Loose Ends.
So the compilation albums were great because you'd get more tracks on it when you couldn't afford 12 inches. Then really, with your either pocket money or I was doing a bit of building site work with me dad Walter. And buying the odd bits of records here. But whatever happened, the music was soul. But I used to love Roy Ayers and Lonnie Liston Smith.
But I've not planned this, but down there is the Roy Ayers 7-inch. I have not. I played that on Centreforce on Wednesday. I didn't plan for you to be sat in front of Loose Ends and Roy Ayers.
Left them right. So yes, but Roy Ayers is where I got my name from, and some people know this. When I first, the music soul was always playing soul. But soul, so when I was 17/18, after leaving school, met Barry J, a fella called Barry J. You know him, seen him a few times around. He was there Saturday as well. Who weren't there Saturday?
He was there. Barry was there.
He was hanging in.
If you're thinking what they talking about, he was there Saturday. We survived another weekend, another amazing weekend. It was the epidemic.
Lucky it was only an early one for us. We could make it.
30th birthday. And I see Barry. I see him come in, yeah.
You were there early till well late, weren't you? So
I was, yeah. Grant working me away, slaving me as a DJ, like all these promoters.
Yeah.
Put him in all the rooms.
It's amazing how other people do more work than he does at his own event. That's amazing. But I got a last minute time change. Luckily, nothing new there with Grant. Last minute time change.
And why did you get it to fit?
Yes.
In front of my
and he just didn't really say, "Do you mind?" He just said, "You are doing."
Yeah, as he always does. Yeah.
Lucky it was only an hour difference, and it was a daytime things round the corner, so that was great. The old Electro Works for the Epidemic, yes. 30 years.
30 years.
We're all hanging in there, aren't we, mate?
Yeah, 30 years.
So soul was the thing. But met Barry J down at Basildon Market. We used to go down Basildon Market and hang about in the evenings like youngsters do, you know. Bit of fun. Someone would have a boom box and a bit of music and a few people hanging about, laughing, a bit of break dancing, you know, just silly stuff like that at the market. Because the market would be over, but all the stalls would still be there with the boards you could sit on. met Barry J. We got go chatting and that. And Raquel's is dead opposite Basildon Market, and we used to go there every other sort of weekend when we could get in.
Was that mid-80s?
Raquel's, he was talking when I'd left school, so 88, 89.
Right, so coming up to the house.
87, 88 more so.
And was you going there for the? And it was soul playing. It was
Raquel's at them times was pop. And they chuck a bit of French kissing or a little bit of Baby Make Me Love You for Tonight or Break for Love. They chuck a few of them in the middle of the night, and then a few people would get on the floor and have rave it up. But it was more soul, more chart stuff. It was sort of a D-Ream place, you know. It was more of a nightclub than a rave up.
But when the rave music started coming through from the soul and funk and boogie, then it's right. I get you.
And we got a taxi home one night, me and Barry. And I don't know how my memory's good, but it's not this good. So there was a fella driving, and we were talking to him about the driver called Jim Mahoney.
Right.
I know his name well because we went and see him many times after. We were just saying how much we would love the music. We've been in Raquel's, love music. We'd love to do a radio station. It's just the weirdest coincidence ever. He said, I can supply you a transmitter. I make transmitters. I'm an electrical man.
Right.
Whatever way it went, within the week, we were at his house having a sit-down chat with him. He had a big sort of electrical studio under his stairs, you know, like a triangle door that goes in.
Yeah.
He had all this stuff, and he sold us a transmitter at 500 quid. Probably a bit much now.
Yeah.
But we didn't know the prices of them, and within the week we'd set up in my mum's garage playing soul and funk.
So you
no rave at all.
Right. So catch that, everyone. This man was on pirate radio.
88 it was.
Playing soul.
My own station. Well, me and Barry's station.
And what was the station
called?
called?
Called Elite FM.
Elite.
But I wasn't called. I was called Sir Vibes.
Sir Vibes, named after Roy Ayers.
Which was a slant on survives.
Yeah.
Surviving, you know, survive life. But it was Sir Vibes.
Yeah.
It was two words, Sir Vibes.
Yeah.
You know, it was a bit, cool. Yeah,
so
Sir
it
Vibes.
has a very soul funk rare
this
groove
is Sir Vibes. Yeah.
vibe to it.
Yes.
It really is of the moment.
Yeah, it was just smooth, you know, everybody loves the sunshine sort of thing.
Yeah.
And my favourite Roy Ayers track at those times was Running Away. But the reason I was called Sir Vibes is because of Roy Ayers.
Yeah.
Because Roy Ayers plays the vibraphone, which is a big glockenspiel, if you know what I mean. He goes, a lot of his records he does outros and intros on that. It's called the vibraphone. And his slang name for that, on a lot of the back of the records, it names who plays the guitar, who plays the drums, like it will do on a lot of soul records, the vibraphone, and it will just have in brackets the vibes, because that's what it's a slang name for the nickname for a vibraphone is the vibes. So that's why it's called Survives. But when Brickhouse Records was a short distance away, we started hearing that rave stuff was coming in a bit, you know, like Strawberry Fields, which wasn't really ravey, but like Karina and all that. So we started buying a few of those, you know, and we used to buy bargain packs from Brickhouse Records, which were £10, and it'd have 4 records in it, and it could be anything. And that's how I know we actually got snap the power in one of those. Yeah. Believe that or not, but we got Strawberry Fields and a few other things like just slow raves, but there'd be a couple of raves.
Because that was a big, when Shane says slow rave, for those who don't know, a lot of rave, like you think Career Let Me Love You for Tonight is a slow record, but then there was like a lot of alternative slower records that used the soul to soul kind of beat.
Yeah, they'd chuck them at raves. They'd be in 87, 88 raves.
And they would be like big tunes.
The big outdoors dudes would have them playing, no doubt. People would love it because it wasn't all about going crazy like French Kiss and that. It was a lot of people sort of like more mellow.
Yeah.
But there wouldn't be a whole hour of that.
Do you think that you gravitated toward that, and a lot of DJs gravitated toward them slower ones because you come through a soul?
Yeah, because they had a lot of the grooves and they had a lot more melodicness, a lot more sort of feeling. You know, anyone can go crazy to a 150, well, 140 then it would have been, wouldn't it?
Well,
BPM?
120.
Yeah, but the ravey stuff, like maybe the Grandma's Party and stuff like that would be 130, 40. It'd be coming up the levels, and French Kiss would be coming up. And then it started, just like anything, Salt and Pepper with Evolution in there, and all sorts of crazy stuff would be played. But we would start, then we thought, but Survives was a little bit, I hate to say this, a bit poncy for playing rave stuff at the time. Yeah,
it feels very rare groove, very...
And the pirate station needed to evolve because Kiss came on the same time near enough as when we were starting off. It was around that time. Kiss was really going well and people were listening to Kiss, and that's why we wanted to do it. We took our influence off Kiss.
Can you remember what month in 88?
I can't remember what month we started.
Right, okay.
It wasn't winter because our garage was warm. It was definitely summery time because it was warm enough in the garage. And I remember when it did get wintry, we had to have a heater in there later on.
Yeah.
But it was so the Sir vibes was a little bit not quite. It was a bit too soulful. It was a bit 80s.
Yeah.
I needed to move onwards a bit. I wanted to be the rave master sort of, which I'll tell you about later.
Which you become, yeah.
So I just dropped the Sir. I had a little period. I called myself the Navigator. And that was long before. And I can still do it now. Listen to this. I can still do it. And this is from 30, 40 years ago. The N, the A, the V, the I, the G, the T, the O, the R, the Navigator. That's how I used to do it then.
The real MC Navigator. Look, they really are. These hairs are up on end. The real MC Navigator out there. Watch out. He's coming.
He's going to start DJing as Vibesy.
Do you think you're going to knock that over in excitement?
No, I just put it there. Oh.
Someone has just said that orange juice is going over.
Oh, right, great. So, so that was the sort of evolution of me rave. So the soul stuff started drifting out. I'd play, because I'd come down from my bedroom and I'd go straight in the garage, I could play. And then Barry would turn up, DJ Daz would turn up. We'd have a few sort of my old mates would have a go.
Yeah.
Just, and it was fine because I couldn't do it all. But then it started getting big. We didn't take that long to get big because it was the only station that would go from Stamford through to Grays through to Barking.
How long did this run for?
Around a year
to
start with.
The thing that fascinates me, so I love my history of pirate radio, acid house, just in general. Centerfall's switched on air in 1989. Sunrise was the summer of 89. You were right there in the cusp for Essex of, through your love of soul, having this pirate station for soul, but it ended up becoming a cusp for the outskirts of East London and Essex.
We were getting to Barking,
rave music, and this is like so early on in the history. This is when you think of pirate radio, like Sunrise and Centerfalls are everyone's, like, they were the ones. 88, 89. Kiss was moving on by that point. And it wasn't till 1991, 92, 93 that there's so many stations, whether that was
definitely.
Pulse.
Even now, yeah.
Yeah, whether that was Pulse through to the Cool FMs. There was just so much. But how old was you?
18.
At 18, there you are.
Yeah.
With one of the first rave.
First in Essex, really. No doubt.
Dedicated just
going from Barking to Southend on the good day, down to Gravesend in Kent, because it was bouncing off the water. I'd never been to Gravesend in my life. I thought, where's that?
Yeah.
But, it's 3 miles as the crow across water. But, you'd never go there. And, wow, down in Kent. Whoa, wow. And we was even going up to sort of sometimes Chelmsford. So it was great on a good day, on a clear day. And we didn't have phones, we had pagers at first. Then we got 2 techno phones, which were cheap and cheerful ones, and they were going solid. But I missed the important bit. There was a phone box at the end of the road next to the Conservative Club, and Terry Outen, Denise Van Outen's brother, used to stand in there for us taking calls and run down and running back.
Wow.
Yep. Big tell boy. Big T.
How old was Denise Van Outen at that point?
She was 3 years below us in school. Yeah, she was at our school. So yes, we used to stay around and have right laughs with Terry. Then we actually, when we got nicked. I'll tell you that in a second.
Did your mum realise you were running an illegal pirate radio station?
Not illegal. She knew it weren't meant to be, but she didn't know it was.
The
DTR are a big firm.
Was.
Yeah. Because you're blocking all sorts of waves of police, ambulances, so we were told, shipping lines, the lot.
Yeah.
You don't realise you're just chucking something on. There's people paying millions to have licences, and you're just flying around. But we were the only one. That's why it was so busy.
Yeah.
Because we were the only one, and it was a new thing. People would love to get their name mentioned on the radio, like that.
Yeah.
You can't. The other stations, Kiss and all, the Radio 1, you'd be very lucky. But and then you'd always have the same people that always get hold of you every night. They'd always listen.
Yeah.
They'd be down the old car park, a few of them with the radio on around the car. I used to go down there all the time and, and they'd be doing whatever they're doing in the cars, listening to the radio, and it was a great thing.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt about it. It was a first rung of the ladder for me to be now where I am now.
how many nights a week did you go on, or was it just a weekend thing?
No, it was constant. It was constant because it was that big and that good and that much of a laugh.
Yeah.
And we'd have a little posse in the garage. It weren't as if it was all undercover and hush hush. The wire, it wasn't linked to anything. The wire only went up onto the top of our conservatory. That's off the edge of the drain pipe. That was it.
Yeah.
What was it? Was it 1,000 watts hour thing? It was 500 quid either way, which I found out later on was a bit expensive. But I didn't care because it done us great. It lasted, and as you well know, the story of Cabbage, because we decided, because it was so big, we're going to have a little rave up, just a little gathering, not a rave, no sound system, no big stage or anything. We just said, right, we're going to have a Sunday up at One Tree Hill, which is in between Basildon and Five Bells.
Can you remember the exact date?
It was a Sunday. It was a Sunday in summer because it was a very hot day. And that would have been 88 or 89.
Yeah.
It was so busy, our station. It was just going off all the time. And people saying, do a rave. But we weren't going to do a rave because we didn't have a clue. Where would I get a sound system? Just about found a transmitter. So we did, and thousands, hundreds of people went up there. They had to shut off the A13. And there was a car dealer at the bottom of this One Tree Hill. And he was complaining. I was all complaining. It was a roadblock. And a fella called Cabbage had a transit. And he had a big system in it. And that was where everyone was gathering round. Whatever way it went, the next weekend our doors went in.
Right.
Because of that, we'd got too big for our, not even too big, but just we decided to get out of our trainers and put on boots.
Yeah.
So whatever way it went, our door went in the next week, all because of us deciding to have a little gathering.
Was your mum in when they raided you?
No, they were coming back from the Irish club with my Uncle John and Auntie Sheila.
Wow.
They wanted, my mum wasn't allowed in her own front door. She wasn't allowed in. They said, no, you can't come in. They had Alsatians up my mum's stairs.
Right. So talk us through the process of the DTI and the old Bill raiding your mum's
back garage.
At
the end of the garden.
While you and your teenage mates
Terry
are
Ann was there.
literally
Big Baz
running
was there.
An illegal pirate radio station that you was unaware had got so big in Essex that you thought, oh, we'll put on a little garden party on a Sunday.
One Tree, just a gathering. It was called Teddy Bear's Picnic.
It was called Teddy Bear's Picnic, right? and all these people turned up, in which then the old Bill were like, oh, what are this?
Because it was just a mental gathering, and it blocked off the A13 turning into One Tree, which is a massive sort of road by this geezer's garage, just in between the Five Bells. People know it if they know it. Just between Basildon and Lakeside. That's the stretch.
So talk us through the raid.
It was a Saturday night.
Yep.
They waited for the biggie. We was just about 10, 11 o'clock, because it must have been, because that was when my mum and dad were coming back from the Irish club. So they kicked the back gate in, busted it, and they didn't kick the door in, they just came in the door. But because it was an open garage door, it wasn't open, but it was just a garage door that they just opened it. There was 3 or 4 police, 2 of it. The actual fella himself, Pete somebody, was there. He's the main DTI man that everyone would have known at the time. His name's Pete something anyway, from Chelmsford. Got all the papers. I had to go to court. They wouldn't let my parents in. They took everything away, all my records as well. They took Terry Oughton's records, Baz's records. Any records that were there, we didn't get them back or even know how to or try to get them back. I was the main man who got, because it's the house, me, whatever. Barry didn't get nothing, Terry didn't get nothing. My parents didn't get any trouble. I just got for being in charge of it. And in 1989, you know this anyway, I got a £1,200 fine. Yeah. Then lost me records, lost the transmitter. But by this time, I'd already got a few little bookings because of it.
Yeah.
You know, and we was doing a lot of flyering and we were doing advertising. I used to sit in the bedroom on my Iowa system and record for a mic, record the adverts for the events. We used to do Rush, you know, the small events. We used to do World Dance. Sorry, Beyond Therapy.
Beyond Therapy, which was before World Dance.
Yeah, Jay went to Jay's house one day, my T-Reg Fiesta, which I didn't have a licence or a MOT or anything for. I bought it off Chris Woods for 100 quid.
Yeah. So basically, endearingly nice DJ Vibes, who everyone loves, and he's like one of the most inspiring people. Illegal pirate radio, illegal raves, driving around with no tax and MOTs, causing disturbance.
I don't know where the car came from, but it blew up outside the Sportsman about 3 weeks later. Yeah. So I just left it there with the keys on the chair for anyone else who wanted to try it. So I went to Jay Pender's World Dance Place in Essex Hornchurch, and to do a flyering thing and an advert. and money, cash, but it was going really, really well. And he said, "We'll book you one day. We will book you," and it came true.
It did, yeah.
He did a couple of years later, booked me a few times
because that Beyond Therapy and World Dance and stuff like that was huge.
You had to be established
89.
to be on that. Yeah.
Now, did you during that era? Is the mythical golden era of the roots of rave, where everyone's cuddling each other on the dance floor, but behind the scenes there's all kind of aggro and trouble. And obviously you've highlighted like the fact that DTI are busting you, but as a pirate radio station, and in that time, did you get any sort of conflict or trouble or
nothing at all ever? I don't know why. We probably weren't going quite far enough into London to make it a problem.
Into the East
there was
End
no
or
one in
into
our
North
area.
London.
We were treading on toes, and we were fun. We were happy.
Yeah.
There was no rude boy, no bad stuff. There was none of that.
No gangsters
There was
surrounding
none of that. It was all. There was no talking about stuff we shouldn't. There was no swearing for sure.
Yeah.
Which you learn. Certain people can do that.
Yeah.
Certain people can't. But we kept it really nice, and because we was only young and all, we weren't like gangsters or big boys or anything. We were just fun fellas
you
having
just
a bit
wanted
of
to
fun.
play music. Yeah,
and there was lots of DJs. We had a lot of the when we sort of folded up. We tried a few more times from Terry Oughton's loft, and we tried.
It feels like something out of Ali G when they're all driving
It really
around
is.
in the little yellow motor and all that, and it's like, yeah,
God, Cabbage to this day is still knocking about.
Cabbage.
In an old tranny.
Yeah.
With a system. That's what I think kicks it off mainly, because everyone was around that. But yeah, that's where I got a great couple of rungs up the ladder from doing that station, because I got known a bit. And, you know, if you're advertising things, like anything, if you can sell tickets for someone, they want you on board. If you could give flyers, we were doing flyering and all sorts of stuff. And because if I bought that station on now, where in Basildon, it wouldn't go anywhere. But it was timing. Lucky timing.
Can you pinpoint, off the top of your head, 5 records in that year that define your early days of vibes and the station?
Well, I think Tricky Disco is one everyone used to love us playing.
Yep.
And Gino Latino.
Welcome.
Yeah, that was a real good one. Strawberry Fields, constantly. People
that
used
was
to
a
ask for
huge
that all the
candy
time.
flip.
I don't know why.
Huge.
It's not a rave.
It was
what
huge.
you call a rave record. That was there. I'd always, when I'd get up in the mornings though, because I could go straight down, it was great. What else did I do? I didn't have a job or nothing.
Sounds like me every Monday.
I just passed it on to you, didn't I?
Yeah.
Let him do it. So I'd just go down in the mornings, and I'd play soul in the mornings, even when we'd gone ravey. It would always be soul in the mornings.
Yeah,
to get it going. So I'd always play Running Away, Roy Ayers, and I know that's not ravey, but that was because that was me. That was my that and Lonnie and Liston Smith.
Expansions. But you think of Runaway, it is proto house. The tempo, that it's a disco-y track.
The the bass line.
Yeah, of course. It's been sampled. It's been sampled so many times over the years. So what other track?
We'd even like Dreams of Santana. That sort of stuff we were playing.
Yeah,
and Man Machine and LFO. That was the time.
They're all down there.
Yeah.
They're all down.
We could have a rekindlement if any time. That was the style. There was no banging stuff. French Kiss we used to love, playing the 11-minute version. We'd always love that.
You was all so young. You liked it when it got to the middle bit, didn't you? You dirty boys. There's a lot
turn
of
it down because my mum would be listening up.
Yeah.
But yes, that was the sort of early rave music. But then we started getting a little bit more sort of techno-y, D-zone records.
Bleeps and bass. Can you remember your first gigs?
My first gigs were basically
in proper
rave conditions.
Actually, did you have soul gigs?
I didn't have any soul gigs, no. But I've done some youth clubs. Done youth clubs. And we've done a couple of youth clubs, done Round Acre, done a few birthdays, but no actual nightclubs. But then, as we started being me and Baz started, we're going to do a night, and one of the most successful nights ever. At Southend, Mr. B's.
Right.
Barry was a friend of the bloke who owned it, and we just basically said, I think we can do this. I think we can get some people in. We got the people on. If people that were phoning in or paging in or whatever they were doing could get half of them to the event, we'd be sorted. So we started off. We called it Technocore. It was called
89 or 90.
I'd say 89, coming on to 90. And Mr. B's was a rave club. It was a sort of more of an exclusive club. It wasn't like Tots.
Yeah.
It wasn't like...
So more underground. Yeah. How many people did it hold?
We got 300 or 400 the first week, 5, 6, and then for the whole year we done it, 1,000 people every week. We would get £1 a head, me and Barry, but not each, but between us, we'd get £1 a head. We were taking home £1,000 every week for a good 6, 8, 10 months. And then when it got to Christmas, New Year's, the fella said, we're going to leave it. And they've done it themselves. They've done a rave night themselves.
Oh, so you built it all up.
We had Kenny Ken, we had Mickey Finn, we had Moose. I'll tell you a bloke that we had that was great, that people loved. And I loved him because he gave me a tape that I've still got indoors somewhere that I always used to listen to, Mixmaster Max.
Mixmaster Max.
Don't know if you know
that. Yeah, what a legendary name.
He was scratching then like a demon. But we had all the DJs there. And, decent enough money because the club would pay the money for them. They'd give us an allowance. I think it was £300, which was quite a bit then.
Yeah, for them.
And we had Moose there because we loved Moose. And then that moved on to us. That was a great thing for me to be DJing on.
Friday or Saturday night?
Fridays.
Yeah.
1,000 every week. But they used to get more in, but they used to put a cap on it at 1,000, so they could only give us £1,000.
At what time did it close?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. It's renowned to this day for it, but he dropped us because they said we can do it ourselves. They wanted the Christmas run. They wanted the New Year's Eve. After that, it crumbled. So we went from there to the Slammer in Gravesend, and we called it the same night. The same night we had Rat Pack. We had basically everyone. We had all the DJs.
Yeah.
But that wasn't so good. Because
you moved further.
We moved further out. Essex, it wasn't people had to. Southend Seafront is where that Mr. B's was.
Yeah.
So you've got passing trade. People want to be there. It's a great venue.
Because in that era, I remember me and my mates. Soon as one of your mates passed his driving test.
Oh yeah, up.
Everyone within like a 30 to 50 mile radius of Southend, it was the big thing in like 89, 90 to go to Southend Seafront, and everyone would just go up and down
cruise
in
the
their
strip,
Beatles,
the circle,
cruise it with
the circuit is called.
and that was the thing, and like I remember going with my mate Chrissy Lambourne and Pants Man.
Yeah, because there was all the neon lights, weren't there? There was the arcades, you had the beach, a few burgers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the big thing. So, obviously, when Rave kicked off, Southend was a perfect
But there was
place.
queues, but you start at 9, there was queues going up around the corner. It was great. It was golden place, summertime, golden music, golden years.
And how long
definitely.
how long would you DJ for
do
every Friday?
45 minutes. Baz would do the 45. So we was residents, obviously.
Yeah.
But we'd do our own flyers. We'd take them all around the record shops through the week. We'd do a monthly flyer. We used to have Danielle Rochelle. You can dig the flyers out there. I've got a few of them up.
That Danielle still going strong on Centre Force with us all.
Yeah, we had every DJ of the time.
Yeah.
And some ones you wouldn't know so much now that were good then, but just drifted off. But then we went to Slammer, it wasn't so good. And then so we drifted back to the Berwick Manor and do the night. And that was hard work.
Yeah.
Because
they already had the Friday going in there.
It wasn't because it was that. It was because of where it is. You have to drive there. It's a long way out, that Berwick Manor.
So what nights did you do Berwick?
Saturday.
Right, so Fridays, Roger and everyone was in there.
It was. We met. We used to see him in there a lot. We used to go there for meetings, and it was just a bit of fun. We weren't businessmen. We were promoters, obviously, by what we were doing.
Yeah.
But we weren't. We didn't have accounts or anything like that. I don't think there was any figures.
I think some of these promoters now don't run professionally, do they?
But we were having fun, and we done that for a year. But that gave me a massive insight into the DJing itself. I had some avenues then. I had some sort of people knew me, and I'd be DJing. I'd done favours for them. They'd done favours for me. So the next thing was Roller Express. We were flyering for them a lot because we were still doing the radio at this time, but it was harder because we were doing it from Terry's loft.
Yeah.
Then we even done it for a while because Dad weren't having it or something. We was doing it from up a tree with a big aerial and a transmitter from Jim again, a smaller one on a car battery.
As you progressed with Jim, the geezer who supplied the transmitter, did he ever do it cheaper or did he keep ramping the prices up?
I think he said you need a bigger one and charged us the same money, but it weren't any bigger.
Right.
But we only got 3 off him in the long run. So then we just decided my DJing was taking off a bit with the weekend rush. I was doing lots of little do's around. I was down to doing a lot in Maidstone, and I can't remember the names of half of them. I started to get smaller ones, but the first big one I got was 92.
Right.
I'm sorry, I've missed out a chunk here, which is criminal. I was doing a few little ones, doing roast. I was doing a lot of roast do's. They had me, for some reason they loved me, because I played ragga jungly style rave.
Yeah.
You know, like sort of more of anything that had a ragga vocal in it, or deep bass line, or anything that was pure breakbeat without any stomp. I was playing that.
Yeah.
And when I played there once, they loved it. And Rob Foster.
I remember the name Rob Foster.
He was well in with them, and he was really on my side. And he told them that I played a great set, and I became the resident, and I was the only white person playing there. And they called me the Great White Hope.
Brilliant.
I don't know. Yeah.
And what? That was 91?
91, 92. And I know that for a fact, and I'll tell you why in a minute.
And was that at Termills or no?
This was down in South London. It was a little industrial estate place.
And was that every Sunday?
It was main Sundays, yeah. It was a
Sunday,
rotation job. I wasn't playing there every Sunday, but it was rotation.
Yeah.
And but it was on Green Lanes, Haringey, where there was the night that the bouncer got murdered. He got thrown over the balcony, and I was there, and I see the people come running through the front door.
Wow.
I had Haringey police come to my mum's house.
What was the venue in Haringey? Was it
Light Room? No, I don't know. It was on Green Lanes.
Yeah.
I remember the night well.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting there, and I was guaranteed, this is 1,000,000% fact. I was sitting in this Chesterfield single chair, and 3 or 4 blokes come running through the front door, solid blokes, like big heavyweight geezers, come flying through. I thought, what's that about? Left it be. Anyway, I'm sitting there because I was waiting for my 100 quid wages. Honest to God with you.
You was doing well, 100 quid in 91.
Well, can't argue with that.
No.
Well, definitely not. God, I take that now.
Most of them we had to most of them we had to run around the venues chasing out 20 quid, didn't we?
Yeah, fuel.
Yeah, fuel.
The Fiesta T-Reg. What was I driving then? Oh yeah, I had my first car by then, because I earned a couple of pennies along the way. I had my first D-Reg XR3i, which I bought from Canvey Island. He wanted $3,000. I gave him 2,900.
Brilliant.
Which was good, because I saved up some money. I just managed to save, because I weren't going out, and I weren't drinking or going nuts or being crazy or doing anything stupid in them days, I had my little studio flat.
Yeah.
No, sorry, that's before that.
You see, this man's got so much. Anyway, back, the 3 geezers running through.
Yes. So I was waiting for my 100 quid, and as them 3 went through, I thought nothing of it, because they'd gone into the venue. This is out in the foyer area. Remo Don, who you saw and spoke about in the morning. He came up to me because I played one of his tunes, a track called Wonderful by and it was Remo Don.
Yeah.
Or Remo Don, because his name is Remo. Errol is his name. So, but Remo is his name, and Remo, 2 words, Remo Don, the Don, because his second name is Gordon.
Yeah.
So Errol Gordon, the Don Gargon, that sort of style, very reggae. So very, 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 very cool. But I played his record. I'd got that from Brickhouse, funny enough.
Yeah.
And I played it, and he came up to me, man, you played my record. He said it was a wicked set. I'm not doing an impression or anything. I just, you played my record.
Is he American? Hey man, thanks for playing.
Sound like they'd about 10 lagers. So I just said that. He came up to me and he said, Shane, he said, loved your set. He said, thanks for playing my track. Have you ever made music?
Yeah.
And I said, no. He said, would you like to? I said, of course I would. I'd love to. Because if he can make a track like that and he can help me to do something, then whoa.
Yeah, you're off.
Tuesday night in Tooting with him, goes to the flat up opposite Tooting station. Geezer called Andy in there with a mixing desk as big as from your deck to that deck.
Yeah.
This must have been about a 500 track or something, or a 48 track. And it was where a lot of the Star Wars pieces and stuff had been done for some of the later films on that particular desk. He was the man for it. He was a real proper music man, not a rave music man. So he could do anything, all effects he was into and stuff. And Wish Doctor's there, as I didn't know a lot about Wish Doctor. I'd know he'd done a few kicking records. Oh wow. So us 4 together made Sing It Loud that particular night, Tuesday, after I was asked.
Wow.
What a journey. What a lucky place to be.